What's up guys, Yoni here. Today I'm taking on a massive challenge. I am going to El Salvador for 3 weeks. But here's the catch. I am going to try to live exclusively on Bitcoin. No cards, no cash. Just Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. And I've only used the Lightning Network like a couple of times before. So this is going to be insane. And the question is, can I survive on Bitcoin alone? Let's find out. First stop, the airport.
For all my years in Bitcoin, I wonder what it would be like to live in a Bitcoinized economy. And here in Bitcoin land, El Salvador, a lot of people already use Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. In fact, more than in any other part of the world. But what is the Lightning Network? Let's find out.
The Lightning Network lets you send Bitcoin without relying so much on the slower and more expensive blockchain. With the Lightning Network, you can send Bitcoin across the globe from person to person, securely and privately, at the speed of lightning and with virtually no fees. This network is an engineering marvel, and at the risk of sounding hyperbolic, a once-in-a-species invention. This is not a tutorial on how to use the Lightning Network, but rather a philosophical rant on how it works and what makes it so cool. So enjoy this carefully crafted video on the Lightning Network, the future of Bitcoin. To appreciate the beauty of the Lightning Network, let's first consider the Bitcoin blockchain. Picture it as a towering skyscraper, equipped with a single elevator. In this scenario, each Bitcoin transaction is like a person waiting to get on the elevator. But here's the catch. The elevator can only carry a few thousand transactions every 10 minutes. As Bitcoin becomes more popular, the queue for this elevator grows longer, leading to delays. Now, picture the Lightning Network as a network of expressways built above this skyscraper. Here, transactions are like cars, zipping along these roads, completely bypassing the crowded elevator below. The Lightning Network enables instant, private, and secure transactions for virtually no fees, thanks to this interconnected network of private and secure highways. Meanwhile, transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain below have to rely on a slow and expensive elevator with very limited capacity.
Let's take an example. Alice and Bob decide to set up their own Lightning channel. This channel is a direct and private pathway for transactions between just the two of them, bypassing the congested main road of the Bitcoin blockchain. To initiate this channel, they each contribute 2 Bitcoins, creating a shared pool of 4 Bitcoins for their transactions. At its core, a Lightning channel is a smart contract, a self-executing contract with the terms directly written into lines of code. These contracts maintain a record of the transactions in the channel and ensure quick, secure, and private transactions. So when Alice buys something from Bob, they transact through their channel, avoiding the slower, more expensive process on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's like they have their own private ledger, free from usual blockchain fees and delays. Think of their pooled Bitcoins as beads on an abacus. Each starts with 2 beads. When Alice transfers a Bitcoin to Bob, it's like moving one of the beads from her side to his. The smart contract, functioning as an automated ledger, adjusts their balances accordingly. This process, free of transaction fees, can continue indefinitely as long as their channel remains open, significantly reducing the demand on the base layer blockchain. However, it's important to understand that transactions within the Lightning Network don't move bitcoins from one Bitcoin address to another. Instead, transactions create a contractual change in ownership within the pooled resources. But there's no transaction settlement on-chain until the channel is closed. When a channel is closed, for whatever reason, the final balance, as recorded by the smart contract, is settled on the blockchain. This settlement ensures that the actual Bitcoin ownership reflects the last state of the channel. The blockchain is thus involved only at two critical points: when opening a channel to fund it, and when closing a channel to settle the final tally in accordance with the balance on the abacus. Let's see how a transaction can move through the Lightning Network. In this scenario, Alice and Bob have a direct channel, and so do Alice and Dave, but Alice and Carol do not. The real magic of the Lightning Network is that Alice can still send bitcoins to Carol despite not having a direct connection. Alice and Carol can still transact because the Lightning Network is a network of interconnected paths, like a complex road network where each road is a channel that can route a transaction. Even if Alice and Carol are at the opposite ends of this network without a direct road or channel between them, Alice can still send her bitcoins to Carol. This is achieved through a process known as multi-hop, where the transaction is passed through multiple intermediaries, like Bob and Dave, before reaching Carol. Multi-hop ensures that even without a direct channel, transactions in the Lightning Network can reach any participant through these intermediary channels. And here's where it gets clever. The system works like a smart GPS navigation system. It doesn't just find the shortest path. It also looks for the most reliable and cost-effective route, avoiding traffic jams, expensive toll roads, or any unnecessary detours. Hub and spoke model. Let's dive into another transformative development of the Lightning Network. This is a huge leap forward, marking a significant evolution in the network's functionality and reliability. In the early days of Lightning, the network was a dense jungle of small channels with limited liquidity, like a network of narrow, congested back alleys. This structure made it challenging to process large transactions, often resulting in congestion or even failed payments. The solution sometimes involved splitting a large transaction into smaller parts to navigate through these limited channels. However, through the invisible hand of the free market, the network has naturally evolved to now include larger channels with greater liquidity, forming what we know as the hub and spoke model. This model is like transitioning from a web of narrow alleys to a system that includes mega highways. When you initiate a transaction, it starts in your personal channel. Think of it as starting from your driveway. Now, instead of traveling across a series of small roads, hoping that each road has enough liquidity to make your payment go through successfully, you can find a short path onto a mega highway and get to your final destination faster, possibly even cheaper, and with more certainty on the completion of the trip. This has made the payment success rate on the Bitcoin Lightning Network approach 100%, while still maintaining privacy. As the blockchain becomes increasingly used for large transactions, like major bank settlements or even country-to-country transfers, a unique challenge emerges for smaller, everyday transactions. This creates a sort of bidding war for how quickly transactions are processed. So, while the blockchain elevator has room for all sizes of transactions, the speed at which your transaction gets processed depends on how much you're willing to pay compared to others. Smaller transactions, with their relatively lower fees, may find themselves constantly outbid by larger transactions offering higher fees, resulting in longer waiting times for confirmation. This is where the Lightning Network becomes crucial. It provides a swift and cost-effective pathway for smaller transactions, avoiding the fee competition on the base layer. The result? Using Bitcoin for everyday transactions could increasingly shift towards the Lightning Network, making it a more common practice. With new and user-friendly wallets like Phoenix, accessing the Lightning Network is simpler than ever. Not sponsored, but Phoenix, if you're listening, how about we collaborate? You might consider one of sponsoring your boy. These wallets manage all of the technical aspects in the background, making the process seamless for the average user. The hub-and-spoke model further enhances reliability, pushing the success rate of transactions close to 100%. Looking even further, the Lightning Network is paving the way for a new era of microtransactions. Imagine paying for what you use as you use it. Paying for a song as you listen, a video as you watch, or a book as you read. This shift towards microbilling could revolutionize our digital consumption habits. You can imagine the Lightning Network as a second layer built on top of the bedrock of the Bitcoin base layer protocol. This is known as the Bitcoin protocol stack. As exciting as the Lightning Network is, you'll be surprised to know that there's even development onto the Lightning Network layer. A new third layer, if you will. This will expand its capabilities to transform not just payments, but communication, data transfer, cybersecurity, and even the way we manage funds. For the first time in history, you can send money across the globe in an instant for a fraction of a penny without needing permission or a trusted intermediary. It's a bit like teleporting value. Imagine sending tiny amounts of gold across the globe instantly with minimal cost and zero risk of loss. This is the power of the Lightning Network, a true engineering marvel in the world of digital finance. It paves the way for a new world economy with real-time, private and secure money streaming, revolutionizing both finance and individual sovereignty. These developments hint at a future where the Bitcoin protocol stack becomes an integral part of our digital infrastructure, opening possibilities we are only beginning to imagine. In El Salvador, I got to live on a Bitcoin standard for 3 weeks. I used the earnings from my book Abundance Through Scarcity, which I sell exclusively for Bitcoin, to cover food, trips, and accommodation. And of course, I used the Lightning Network for every payment.
Yoni, thanks so much for this book, Abundance Through Scarcity. And thanks for the inscription. Very nice. Great to see you at the conference here in El Salvador.
I am completely captivated by the experience. Surprisingly, living on Bitcoin alone was far easier than I anticipated. And it feels amazing to use good money that is truly yours, that no one else controls, and that no one can create for free while you have to work for it. It feels amazing to use ethical money that, unlike the dollar, cannot be corrupted to spy on you, steal from you, or fund wars. Visiting towns like El Zonte, El Tunco, and Berlin that have fully embraced Bitcoin was a fantastic experience, and seeing how they have inspired an entire nation to adopt Bitcoin was even wilder. El Salvador is like that crazy person who starts dancing alone in a park. We've all seen that video. Now we're just waiting for that second crazy person to join in. The second country to start dancing is, in a way, going to be even more important than El Salvador, because it validates the movement and shows the world it's okay to dance. When the second country joins the movement, it will spark a global dance party.